Well, how you guys doing?
I mean, where are they working on stands?
They'll be on this side. I'll take anything on this side.
All right.
Bright in here.
As long as you don't get that light.
Yeah, right. Just don't stand in that light. Yeah, there you go.
Let me stand next to you.
All right.
All right. Okay, we'll open it right for questions for Coach Faulkner.
Coach, what's the next step for this offense as a whole?
Well, I think the next step, everything with me revolves around, winning, and what do we got to do to continue, to win games and take that next step forward and be able to compete for an ACC championship. And, the most exciting thing about it is we got a lot of guys back, right? And then we got a lot of guys here that were early enrollees that we signed, in January. And so I think we've got like 38 of the 43 guys that are on scholarship going into the fall already here. So just continuing to build continuity. Obviously it's a new season. What we did last year, it doesn't matter, right? So we're just looking, to improve every day. We obviously got to, be more explosive in the passing game, and, continue to run the football. That's going to be who we are.
With all the guys back, does it make it easier to install things and the flow of the practice goes smoother?
Definitely. We've got a great group. Playing in a bowl game really helps because you get that extra 15, practices, and, we're able to get them back. And the retention has been really, really high. These kids have done a great job of, retaining a lot of the information we gave them in the fall and the new things that we've added and, kind of added different things and, putting guys in different positions to, try to get them on the field. And that's really what we're looking for this spring. And, again, just trying to get better every day with fundamentals and the things that make you win football games.
Go ahead.
Coach, you talked about just having a lot of guys back. How important is Haynes' role in that? Just his experience and even just being the leader of that offense.
That's huge. Okay, anytime you got an experienced quarterback that's had some success coming back, right? Everything goes through the eyes of the quarterback, right? So if we don't really have to slow down because we've got a guy that's experienced, and then Zach Pyron, the same thing. I mean, here's a guy that got a bunch of reps last year in practice, and both those guys are really smart, and obviously they work with Coach Winkie on a day-in, day-out basis, and their retention's high. They're highly competitive kids, and, that's a huge part of it. He's been probably mid-summer last year, really took on a leadership role, and that's continued to grow, and it's been great this offseason. And I think the rest of the guys, look to him as well, and that part's established. So, obviously we've got a year under our belt, kind of, know what his strengths are and know what our receivers and running backs and O-line strengths are, and we want to play to those strengths.
Great.
You mentioned being more explosive, specifically in the passing game. I know it's obviously very early. It's very early in spring, a long way to August. But do you feel or do you sense like you have kind of the pieces there at least in place to do that, to accomplish what you want to do?
Yeah, and I do think at times last year, really, we were explosive in the passing game. But that goes hand in hand, all 11, right? That's not just the quarterback. That's not just the receivers. That's the O-line, the tight ends, and protection, and the running backs as well. So, we got to be more explosive. Do we have the pieces? Yes, I believe we have the pieces, but that's not just the pieces on the perimeter. That's the pieces up front and then also in the backfield and at tight end. So to be able to make it all go, we need all 11.
Rob?
You have two freshmen that came in early, a quarterback. What are your plans for them? What do you want to accomplish with them in these, 13 or 14 practices?
Well, I think the biggest thing is it's great they got here in January, right? And you're seeing that across college football and now really at every position. But it started with quarterbacks, with the kids enrolling early, so they could learn the offense and compete for the job. And the best thing for those two kids and their future is they don't have to play right now, right? So we can, bring them along slowly, continue to develop them, get them as many reps as we can get them. And I think that gets lost a lot of times in college football. The older you get, the better you are, right? And those kids don't have to play right now. And we're excited they're here. We look forward to, developing them. And it's good that they are here because these are going to be 15 practices that you normally wouldn't have if you don't get here till the summer. And then obviously all summer they'll be here and have a chance to compete. And they both got bright futures. I'm excited they're here.
You mentioned position changes. Has there been any significant, sort of like Jamal moving last year?
No, nothing significant. I think it's just more of finding different roles for different guys to get them on the field more, right? I do think that we are very, very deep in the receiver room. And, so you got to find ways to get multiple guys on the field at the same time. And, we're experimenting with some of those things right now.
Looking at the receiver position, they had a pretty strong year, but you had a couple of guys that were expected to, be contributors that were injured throughout the year. Blackburn, Blackstrain, then Chase got injured a little bit during the year. How will they fit in coming back? Compared to the starters you have returning? Yeah,
no, absolutely. All right, we'll start with Chase. Chase was off to, I think he was the leading receiver at the time when he went down last year. Came back, game 8 or game 9, but, he was never 100%. Just whenever that injury happens, it takes longer than you think. And but he was able to get a bunch of reps in the bowl practice and kind of get back. He looks great. He's had an unbelievable offseason. Probably looks faster and more explosive than he did a year ago, so we're excited he's back, get him back in the mix. And then obviously Leo, I think, practiced 4 practices, maybe 3 practices last year, and you saw flashes of a guy that could be really, really good. One thing he brings is, some size in that room. I mean, heck, in any room, he's going to bring a lot of size. But we're excited. We're going to bring him back slowly, right? Be smart with him. It's still a year out. We want his confidence. We want the confidence to get really high, and we're going to be smart with the way we rep him and do those things and target him. But I expect him to, have a really, really good season.
Anything else? No, Lawrence?
Just going back to Haynes, you and Coach Key talked about his leadership growing. Do you have any examples, you feel like, or any points of emphasis where you saw that?
I think the biggest thing is he'll get in front of the team now. It's easy for him to, rally a group and then go throw. One thing about Haynes is he understands what comes with the position, right, and all the things that entail, the way you act off the field, the way you carry yourself. He speaks to everybody in the building. He's awesome. We're glad he's here, and like I said, his leadership is getting better and better every day.
Anything else for Coach Faulkner? Okay, Coach, thank you. Oh, you got one more? Yeah. Sorry about that, right?
You got one more receiver that came in early, or 2 actually, but you look at Isaiah Canty, and he looks like a receiver when you see him out there on the field. Have you had any chance yet to see, what his progress will be?
So Isaiah tore his labrum late in his senior season, so he had surgery, and he won't practice with us other than a few things, routes on air, different things like that, no non-contact stuff. But he looks very explosive, and he can catch the ball. Obviously, you can watch his high school film and see what he was able to do. But again, he's another guy to throw in the fold. And like I said, I think we got a really deep room. We got obviously a new coach and Coach McKnight, and who's had a history of not only developing receivers, but building great relationship with those guys. And he's also got a great track record of evaluating and recruiting the state of Georgia. So big hire for us. We're excited we got him to work with those guys, and he's obviously a guy that's called plays as well. So. He sees it in several different ways. So glad he's here, and I think the receivers done a great job of taking to him, and I look forward to big things out of that room.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right, appreciate it, guys.